Alright everybody, so in today's video we're going to be going over some of the best summoner weapons in my opinion for the summoner class in pre-hard mode. Now first we're going to jump in. We're just going to go with the basic leather whip. I mean, you can't really go wrong with this weapon only because you need something to attack the enemies with consistently. I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, sometimes as a summoner class the summons don't always do what you need them to do, but it's a fairly decent weapon, doing about 14 damage. It has very bad knockback, so you can't really crowd control with this too much, and it doesn't hit very fast apart from that. But all in all, you still can't take away from the fact that it does 14 damage. If you have summons, it'll help do a boost of damage with your summons, and it will also force the summons to attack any enemies that you hit last. So all in all, fairly decent weapon to get, and I suggest that you do spend the 10 gold to get it from the zoologist. It's not like it's terrible, and it will definitely help you out when progressing in the game. Now, the next weapon that you can get in your pre-hard mode game is the Hornet Staff. Now, this is a drop from none other than Queen Bee. The only way you can get this is by beating her and getting bee wax. You need about 14 bee wax to craft this item, and what's good about this is it gives you some range, and you don't necessarily have to stay in battle. Your minions will do some damage for you. Another good thing about this item is that you can add the poison debuff if it hits enemies. It'll last for about 4 to 7 seconds. And, you know, all in all, pretty good weapon. The debuff does give you extra damage for that time. And of course, the damage output is 12. And this also doesn't have a lot of knockback, so not the best. But what's good is you get that debuff, you get extra damage, and not to mention, if you do hit targets, the damage will be added from your whips, so that's always a good sign. Now, in my opinion, for the number 3rd spot, we have the Imp Staff. Now, the Imp Staff is basically the Hornet Staff. It only difference is it does a little more damage, and the debuff for the fire only lasts 1 second less, so it's 3 to 6 seconds. But still, all in all, pretty good. You get 17 damage, not a lot of knockback, but as always, you will do more damage when you hit enemies with your whip, and the most I see it do is about 20 damage, and with the whip you can probably get up to like 25, 28 if you're lucky. But all in all, another good summoning weapon. I would not blame you for getting this weapon. It is just a slightly better Hornet Staff because of the damage and overall use of it, but the only difference is that it's a bit slower when attacking, and you know, I mean, I'll take damage over speed anytime depending on how fast it can kill, and the fact that the debuff is a little more prevalent and can pierce up to 4 enemies, so can't go wrong with that. The next weapon I want to touch upon is the Thorn Whip, which is coming in at the number 2 spot. Now, this weapon in particular is really good, and I would love for everybody, if you do play summoner, to try and get this weapon on your hands as quick as possible in the beginning game, just because of how versatile it can be. The good thing about it is it does 18 damage. That's 4 damage better than the leather whip, and the knockback is also slightly better, but still it's not too much to where crowd control is, you know, able to be held in. Other than that though, it can pierce through enemies. It does 6 summoning tag damage, so it'll give your minions that 6 extra damage points when you do hit the enemies. The other good thing about this is it adds the Jungle's Fury debuff, which increases the attack speed by 12% for 3 seconds, and can also add poison for 3 seconds. So can't go wrong with this. You get poison and you get attack speed, which is something this weapon really needs in clutch situations. And coming in at the number 1 spot for best pre-hard mode summoning weapon will be the Spinal Tap. Now, I like this weapon a lot when I'm playing after beating Skeletron. So the 27 attack damage is really good with the 2 knockback. Still very weak knockback, but a little better than both the Thorn and leather whip. Another good thing is your summoning damage goes up to 7 from 6, so that's also really good compared to using the Thorn. Great thing is it's a lot better than the other 2 whips at taking out crowds. It performs better when hitting multiple targets. The only issue is you do lose 10% damage each consecutive hit, so that kind of sucks, but all in all, it's still a really good weapon. I recommend you use it right after beating Skeletron. It doesn't give any debuffs, but you do got to go down in the dungeon and craft it, and get the bones and cobwebs necessary, and all in all, you got yourself a pretty good weapon to get yourself started in hard mode. And if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe, because we will be making more content just like this on some of the other weapons that you can use with the other classes in Terraria. So if you want to see that, make sure you stay tuned to our next video. I'll see you guys.